Hi everyone, I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and my counter is a mess with powdered tie-dye, and I need to clean it up. So I could wipe up this dye with a damp paper towel, or I could use some damp yarn to wipe up this dye and clean up my counter. What I have here is 100 grams of Knit Picks Swish DK, and I pre-soaked it not very long in just some plain tap water. And I thought it would be fun to use this as my paper towel to wipe up dye and to use this as sort of a mop for all of my dyeing projects today. I'm holding on to one side of the hank, and I'm really just focusing on one section for now. But I have a feeling that I will be needing to wipe up even more dye as the day goes on. So the color that was here is from the Tulip one-step tie-dye kit. And it will set with either heat or with time. So I will be able to set this aside and use it to get more dye in the future as needed. But, you know, why waste the dye on a paper towel when you can take advantage of it with some yarn? So I'm going to go safely set this aside until we need it to help clean up some more color. I've got some more leftover dye. Let's see. Take this and rub it. I'm just going to rub the yarn in the cup. Sort of use up and soak up that pretty blue. That's pretty nice. And maybe we'll do the other side of that section. Well, the aqua and the blue look really nice together. See some yellow over there. Probably a bit more on the counter. This is really fun. I'm not sure if I'm going to steam this or what. I haven't entirely made up my mind yet. If I want to steam it, if I want to maybe put it in the dye pot. There might be some leftover dye in there as well, but this is what's kind of fun about using these leftover dyes for stuff. You never quite know what you're going to end up with. But you can get some nice hints of color and continue to add some more color onto our yarn. So once again, I am going to carefully set this aside until I have more color that I want to soak up in some kind of way. Our yarn as is really pretty. But I have a little more leftover dye right here. And so I thought, why not dip into it a little bit? Maybe a lot of this dye is already spent, but maybe there's something that we can get. So I'm just sort of dipping this section in. I wonder how warm this is. It's warm, but I can comfortably touch it. There's one other piece that I'd like to dip. There. Hoping to preserve a little yellow, but I don't mind there being some white, but this I think will help sort of preserve some of those colors and use up some of what is left. I mean, I could submerge the whole thing into the pot, but I don't really want to do that. So anyway, I think that now I need to go ahead and steam this. But first I'm going to change out this water. I know I'm leaving some dye behind. Oh, but I don't think I would ever soak it up already. You could see me for a second consider whether or not I should try adding other yarn to it, but I think that most of the dye is probably spent, and I am going to get the steamer set up. All right, let's steam our pretty yarn. Just goes to show what kind of cool colors you can get when you take advantage of some leftover dyes. All right, I am gonna go ahead and let this steam for 30 minutes. The 30 minutes are up, and now we can remove this from the steamer basket and set aside our yarn to cool. Let's wash our leftover yarn. Come on, bleeding. Not that I'm rooting for bleeding or anything like that. It's just, for a second, I was like, I know you're supposed to be coming. Where'd you go? But this yarn probably also has less dye in it overall, but there's a lot less bleeding here than there was with some of the other yarns that I dyed with these dyes today. So, all things considered, not too bad. I'm going to add a bit of some dish soap, mainly because it's handy. That's why I use it. You could use like a little bit of a detergent, or there are soaps that are designed for dyeing that I actually have in my house. It's just I use this because I think it's more accessible for all of you. Anyway, I am going to keep rinsing this until the water runs clear, and then I'll hang up the yarn to dry. A lot of different techniques went into this yarn. We did some, well, not a dry rub, but a wet rub to soak up some leftover dry dye on a counter. We did some dip dyeing. All of these techniques gave us these really variegated, not even speckled, splotched green with hints of yellow and blue. I would still call this a non-repeating colorway. We do have, actually, the yellow and blue will repeat pretty well. There's really good penetration of these yellows and blues throughout. Just in some places the tone might be more of a butter yellow versus a bright, almost neon yellow. And then with the blue we get more of this royal blue all the way to more of a blue-green. But I think that this is a really fun yarn. I think that these yarns that are created from dyes that might have been wiped up and thrown in the trash or poured down the drain are sort of like a found treasure, because there is a lot of color left and you may as well play with it. I mean, if you have, I happen to have a lot of bare yarn, so I have the ability to play around with these leftover colors, but there's a lot of beauty in there, and it's just so much fun to explore with these leftover bits and see, okay, how can I create a beautiful yarn with what I see left over here? I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and I hope that this video encouraged you to go out and play with color. Leftover dyes can create some of the most beautiful, one-of-a-kind yarns, and things that I can't necessarily recreate because I won't have the exact same dye left on my counter or left in a pot. But by playing with color and exploring with these kinds of techniques, sometimes then you end up developing a new technique that you love to do, because you take pieces of these leftover projects where you really get to play around and be creative to go out and create something beautiful. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the ChemKnits Tutorials YouTube channel and give the video a like. Thank you so much for watching.